The poop challenge was a challenge where people would take—
You are shit yourselves. That is the new challenge. Pooping yourself. Yourself. That's what you find everyone is gonna love. Yo. What's good, YouTube? Today we're gonna be looking at the dumbest TikTok trends ever. We're gonna see the dumbest TikTok trends. If you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you guys join us on Twitch. We're live every day. Links in the description. Without further ado, let's get started.
Dumbest TikTok trends to ever exist. The Benadryl challenge was a challenge where people would basically take a shit ton of Benadryl. Now, why were they doing this? Because apparently it would cause hallucinations. But you know what else taking a shit ton of Benadryl causes? Death. Fucking death, which is exactly what happened to a young girl who did this challenge. The blackout challenge, aka the choke game, was a challenge where people would basically make themselves stop breathing so that they would pass.
The fact that the first two trends are literally just deaths, people just wanting to kill themselves, it goes to show you how much niggas are willing to do to get that viral TikTok shit.
Pass out unconscious. I'm not making this up. This was a real thing. It didn't directly start on TikTok, but this trend made it more popular on the app. And surprise, surprise, 7 kids died trying to do this challenge. The Cha-Cha Slide challenge was a challenge where people would film themselves driving to the Cha-Cha Slide. Whenever the song went to the left or to the right, you would basically swerve your car in that direction. And
so the hell would you gonna do when they say one hop this time? You niggas is just gonna jump the car up?
hella people would just straight up swerve right in the middle of traffic. The amount of dumbasses that got into a car accident doing this challenge is insane. The penny challenge was a challenge where people would put a coin on the prongs of a phone charger as it was still plugged into an outlet. Now, the point of doing this was to try and get a little shock, but in case you didn't know, that causes the outlet to fucking explode.
Alright. Wait, you gotta put a coin in it?
And can set your goddamn house on fire.
Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
And some kids were dumb enough to do this in their school. In March 2020, people started the coronavirus challenge where they would try to get COVID by licking the most random shit. Doorknobs, handrails, toilet seats. Nothing was off limits for these.
The thing is, no, chat, with the other ones, I guess you're trying to look badass or some shit. With this one, nigga, you literally look dirty. I don't understand. What do you want people to look at you like? Like, oh damn, look at this person. They don't care if they contract COVID. Dude, you lick the toilet seat.
These fuckers. And yes, it worked. People got COVID from this. It also resulted in many people getting things much worse than COVID. Don't lick random shit, people. The skull breaker challenge was a challenge where 3 people would jump up in the air at the same time and they would kick the feet underneath of the person in the middle. The point of this was to send the person falling back and hit their head. Oh, and surprise, surprise, some fucking kids got a concussion from doing it.
I'm not gonna lie, if you're deliberately kicking someone's in the leg so that they could hit their head and bump on it, bro, you're actually a bad person.
Who would have thought something called the skull breaker challenge would go wrong? The Nyquil chicken challenge was a challenge where people would cook raw chicken in cough syrup. Not only is this straight up nasty as fuck, but it's also extremely dangerous. For one, you should not be ingesting that much cough syrup. You're not a SoundCloud rapper.
Plus, why would y'all niggas want nasty chicken? Out of everything you could eat, you want nasty chicken? Yo, some of y'all don't deserve chicken. Some of y'all don't deserve meat in your household.
And when you boil cough syrup, you release a lot of aerosol. And you know what happens when you inhale too much aerosol? You could fucking die! The slap a teacher challenge is, well, pretty self-explanatory. Just casually assaulting teachers for shits and giggles. Now, TikTok tried to spread the narrative that this trend was a hoax at first, but that didn't stop a bunch of dumbasses from actually
slapping and striking a 64-year-old wheelchair-bound teacher and was a...
And the thing is, when I thought about this challenge, I thought it was just one hit. You know what? Yo, I hit her with the 6-slap combo? Nigga, you trying to get a KO?
And surprise, surprise, it resulted in someone getting jail time. The DIY Fang Challenge was a challenge where people were making their own vampire fangs for Halloween. But rather than just putting them on their teeth like normal people, they were fucking super gluing them on! I'm not making this up. People were actually super gluing vampire fangs onto their teeth for a trend. The throw it in the air
Yo, bro, some of y'all, please just stop. Just stop. I was about to say stop putting costumes on. Nigga, just stop. Just stop everything.
Challenge was a challenge where people would stand in a circle, stare at their phone, throw an object into the air, and then try not to flinch as it hit them. Now, you think
that one's not that bad. That one's not that bad.
That for this challenge, people would throw really light objects so that they don't get hurt, right? No, not at all. People were throwing fucking heavy-ass objects into the air. One group did this challenge with a fucking ladder, like... But you know, this challenge does seem really fun. If you want to get a fucking concussion, the pee your pants challenge was a challenge where people would, well, pee their pants. Now, what?
I don't understand. If you're gonna do a TikTok trend, at least do something that like has suspense. What the hell is suspenseful or cool about peeing your goddamn pants? I'd rather see 20 Charlie D'Amelio TikTok. Actually, nah. I'd rather see someone with their pants.
Why were people doing this? I have no fucking idea. The poop challenge was a challenge where people would take...
You niggas are shitting yourselves. That is the new challenge. Pooping yourself, duking yourself. That's what you find everyone is gonna love.
Take their poop and then... Nah, bro, I'm skipping this one.
Smear feces on the wall. Do not feel ashamed. This is TOS. TikTok is not even gonna allow this. So you're posting this shit just to get banned on TikTok. So all in all, you're just smearing poop because you want to smear poop.
The fire mirror challenge was a challenge where people would put a flammable liquid onto a mirror and then set it on fire. And apparently doing this would make the fire create a really cool shape. Ah yes, a trend where young children set a fire in their house. Nothing could possibly go wrong from that. No, nothing at all. The hot water challenge was a challenge where people would literally pour boiling water on themselves. Yes, people literally poured boiling water on themselves. I am not making this shit up. And of course, there were kids that got severe burns because they were stupid enough to do this trend. Look, I get that they're kids and stuff, but it's boiling water.
I feel like with a lot of these, did God not install that fear in you? Something that makes you feel like, oh, I need that common sense. Oh, hot, ow, scary. If I put it on me, damage. Ow. Do y'all not have that like caveman mentality?
The fuck did you think was gonna happen? The teeth filing challenge was a challenge where people would use a nail file to shorten their teeth. And it works. Only if you know what you're doing. But most people on this app are stupid as fuck and do not know what they're doing. So most people ended up making their teeth look demonic as fuck. The people who did this trend out here looking like Jaws and shit. Is it really that hard to go to a dentist, people? Now, I'm sure most of you remember the frozen honey challenge. You basically put some honey in a bottle, you freeze it, and then boom, you got a tasty snack. Now, there's nothing wrong with this challenge if you only ate a little bit of the honey. But so many people were just straight down chugging all of this honey, and you know what that gives you? One straight ticket to the worst diarrhea of your life, baby girl. There was a beauty trend going around for a while where people would use Gorilla Glue to apply things like eyelashes.
I'm sorry, but if you're using Gorilla Glue as a cosmetic attachment, you need to stop touching anything beauty related.
Nails, etc. And some people were dumb enough to put this in their fucking hair. You know, a place where you kind of shouldn't put fucking Gorilla Glue on.
You know how heated a company has to be to say forget everything. We have to start cussing?
They put a big fat label on the bottle telling you not to put the shit on your skin for a reason. It's an extremely strong adhesive that's meant for things like stone, wood, and glass. It's not a fucking beauty product. Another dumb beauty hack trend was the face wax challenge where people would put loads of wax all over their face and then peel it off.
Now, anyone who does this is kinky. If you put wax all over your face, I'm sorry. I'm assuming you want nut in your face. I'm sorry.
Now, in general, there's nothing wrong with waxing your face. It's a great way to get clear skin. But this shit was so over the top and covered your entire face, including the eyes. Not a good idea. Your skin is pretty easy to peel off, and I'm sure you like it on your face where it belongs. Another dumbass beauty hack was one where a bunch of wannabe Kylie Jenners put erection cream on their lips to make them more puffy. And while it does technically work, it's a very stupid thing to do. It's called erection cream and not lip filler cream for a reason.
Wait, there's cream that you could put on your meat to make it bigger? $25 for erection gel? Y'all niggas know I need this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can only go so far with 1 centimeter. How do y'all think someone discovered this trend out? Y'all suck dick with gel in it, and then you realize your mouth got bigger. Yo, bro, you niggas is freaks.
Experts say that doing something like this can cause pretty serious side effects, such as soreness, swelling, blisters, fluctuations in blood pressure. Oh, and how could I forget? Fucking heart problems. Nutmeg challenge was a challenge where people would eat high amounts of nutmeg because apparently it would get you high. Now, why is doing this such a stupid idea? Because eating that much nutmeg can cause very serious health effects, such as seizures, organ failure, and fucking death. How can we forget the milk crate challenge? The challenge where people would try and climb over a pyramid of milk crates. The people doing this trend were practically begging to get their necks broken. Milk crates are very weak and extremely durable. They're not exactly designed for people to walk on them.
I could happily say I was never stupid enough to try a trend like this. I feel like this is some shit that I would definitely be gullible to try, but I gladly say, you know what? Maybe I don't want to fall on top of 20 crates.
The amount of people that actually got themselves injured from doing this fucking trend is not even funny. TikTok literally had to ban all of the videos and the trend because of how fucking dumb people were being. For the fire trend, people would put a flammable liquid on their body and then set themselves on fire. Now, originally, people were just doing simple stuff like hand sanitizer, and if you know how to do it right, it can make a really cool trick. But people on this app were being fucking stupid and using liquids like gasoline. Now you're probably thinking, oh, there's no way people were dumb enough to do that. Oh, no.
12-year-old burned what? 35% in body and TikTok fire challenge tell kids to not be a follower? Nigga, 50 surgery, 6 months in the... Yeah, bro, chat, if you want to try this and you want to spend 5 months in the hospital, or 6 months, go ahead, be my guest.
People were dumb enough to do that, sweetheart. There was a trend where people would mix jelly, hand sanitizer, bleach, and shaving cream in a Ziploc bag and hold it up to their eye, thinking that it would change their eye color. And people genuinely believed that this worked. Now, baby girl, I hate to break it to you, but a bunch of random-ass items from CVS does not change your eye color. The art of fractal wood burning had its own trend on TikTok for a while. This is an art of designing wood that uses a very high voltage tool and should only be done by professionals, because if you fuck up, there can be very bad consequences, like setting your house on fire, which is exactly how multiple people who tried this...
Bro, I'll say this before and I'll say it again. You gotta be one of the dumbest niggas to die to a TikTok challenge or anything you see on the internet, because you really ended your entire life based off of what you've seen on the internet. Do you know how insane it is looking at something and say, I want to try that, and actually try that and you die? It's gonna be hard to mourn for you, bro.
Die. The Kia challenge was a challenge where people would break into cars and steal them. People would post themselves hot wiring a car and then taking off with it. And for some reason, people were specifically stealing Kias and Hondas. This fucking trend alone caused Kia and Honda thefts to skyrocket over 2,500%. Committing auto theft for a TikTok trend. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck is next? The rob a bank challenge? And how could we forget the devious lick trend? A trend where people were just stealing the most random shit from their schools that they could find. These kids were somehow stealing the most random and insane items. Water fountains, toilets, the pet lizard, the projector. Someone somehow stole the smart board. Even the fucking fire extinguisher. People were just stealing the most random shit. People somehow stole the school bus.
I never knew that. I knew about the devious lick trend, but nigga, y'all niggas going all the way out of your way to goddamn stealing a school. How do you do that? No, honestly, that's a feat in itself. If you could actually steal a bus, I won't even look at you weird.
Got so bad that so many schools had to lock up their stuff so that these dumbass kids wouldn't steal it. The dipping challenge was a challenge where men would dip their family jewels in a thing of soy sauce, believing that they would be able to taste it that way. And a lot of people genuinely believed that this worked. However, it doesn't, and that's for one simple reason. Your fucking balls don't have taste buds on them. It's called basic fucking anatomy. For the scalp popping challenge, people would rip out a piece of their hair to try and make a scalp popping effect, which is a pretty fucking easy way to cause bleeding or get a sore on your head. And ripping out your own hair kind of fucking hurts, so
that ain't, nigga, do you want to be bald? Why would you want to be partially bald in a part of your hair? That's so weird.
Maybe don't do it. A lot of influencers were ingesting fish tank cleaner because they believed that it would reverse aging. And they also believe it had all these beneficial effects like enhancing your memory and boosting your metabolism. And I don't know where the fuck they got this information from, but it cannot be any more bullshit. Yeah, all you're gonna get from ingesting this stuff is blue-colored poop. For the corn drill challenge, people would put a piece of corn on a drill and spin it as they tried to eat it. Now,
I saw Jason Derulo, and it's enough for me to be like, nah, I don't want this shit. Anything that Jason Derulo's behind, don't do it.
Now, doing this is a pretty easy way to eat your corn really fast. But it's also a really easy way to break your fucking teeth. Just eat it with your hands like a normal fucking person. There was a pretty recent challenge where people were just spraying perfume into their eyes. Now, why were people doing this? I have no fucking idea. If the point of the challenge was to blind yourself or to make yourself look as dumb as possible, well, you did a pretty good job. The salt challenge was a challenge where people would just chug a bunch of salt. Again, I have no fucking idea why people were doing this. For those who don't have brain cells...
Okay, with some challenges, even though they're insane, to me, I feel like, okay, I can see a little bit of thought process of why people creatively might enjoy this. Nigga, eating corn with the... Actually, that might look cool to people. Salt? Bro, some of y'all are actually, like... you know, a little slow in the head.
Salt has a thing called sodium in it, and taking in that much sodium can give you high blood pressure, which can cause very certain health problems, including fucking death! The sunburn art challenge, people would draw on their body with sunscreen and then give themselves sunburn. And doing this would give them some really cool looking art. The problem with this is that getting sunburn a lot can cause some really bad things that you don't want, like fucking skin cancer, which affects 1 in 5 Americans, by the way, so don't fucking do this.
Black people can get skin cancer, right? And I'm pretty sure we can't.
The salt and ice challenge has been on the internet for a long ass time, but it's found its way to TikTok. What people do is that they put salt on their arm and then they put an ice cube on top of it, which causes the temperature to drop, which makes it really, really fucking painful. And doing this can cause some very severe burns. And there are lots of people who have had to go to the hospital for 3rd degree.
You know, I can sit on my high horse and call all these new TikTok trends stupid, but I remember doing this challenge. But this is when I was a kid. So the people who's doing these challenges, chat, they're probably kids to me. It's not even really adults, or I hope not.
Burns from this stupid challenge. I don't think a lot of people actually know just how dangerous the inhaling helium challenge is. When you inhale helium, your body displaces oxygen. You know, that thing you kind of need to live. And this can cause...
I'm sorry, I'm doing this one. I'm sorry. As dangerous as it is, I gotta do, you know.
People do experience nausea, lightheadedness, or passing out. Oh, and fucking death! The Angel of Death challenge, people would literally jump in front of moving cars and trucks. And they did this to test if the vehicles would actually stop for them. And no, this was not in America, it was actually in Indonesia. And surprise, surprise, people died from this shit. There was a beauty trend going around where people would literally inhale tanning spray because they thought it would give them a tan. And while there's zero proof that this does work, there is proof that it does cause certain issues like high blood pressure, kidney problems, oh, and skin cancer. This stuff may not be FDA approved, but it's definitely dumbass approved. For the Orbeez challenge, people would literally go around and blast random people with Orbeez like a menace, which is already a stupid idea alone, but some people were stupid enough to make their Orbeez gun look like an actual firearm. Yeah.
Imagine getting arrested for a toy gun. I'm not gonna lie, shooting people randomly is weirdo activities though. If a nigga hit me with some Orbeez, oh yeah, best believe I'm using real bullets in GTA.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy way to get yourself in jail for life. Why the actual fuck?
But anyways, YouTube, that does conclude the video. As you can see, don't attempt these trends. Why? Keep yourself safe. If you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe, join us on Discord, catch us on Twitch, all that good stuff. Wax for life. Love y'all, and peace.